Welcome back. Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And before I get started, I'd like to say thanks to my buddy Brian with Slicey Dicey channel. He sent this guy in for a review, and the knife in front of you today is the Steel Wheel F15 Resident. Let's knock out some quick specs before we get started. You got an overall length of 8 1/4 inches, so you got a nice full-size EDC knife here. You got a blade length of 3 1/2 inches, a cutting edge of 3 3/8 inches long. You got a handle of 4 3/4 inches, a grip area of 4 inches long. You got a blade stock of 3 millimeters. You got a nice thinly ground, flat ground blade of 0.020 behind the thinnest portion of the edge. You got a handle thickness of 0.42, so that's nice and slender. Your average size usually is a 1/2 inch, so this one is nice and compact in every dimension. It's your widest portion on this knife. It's 1.12 inches wide. So this is a full, compact, lightweight EDC / gentleman / office carry, however you want to see it. And it somewhat hits a budget category. Not really so much of a budget, but you know, for what you're getting. Comes in right at $85 at Blade HQ. And say you love this design, but $85 is pushing it a little bit too high. They also have a version just like this with aluminum scales with a stainless liner lock, and that guy goes for $60. So both of them are great options. And if you don't want to watch any more of this, I would say I recommend this full-heartedly. So let's dive into this guy. You have this nice classic drop point blade with a satin grind on here. And in the front right here, you got this top swedge that goes almost the entire length of the blade. Kind of tapers down to give you a decent, precise tip for piercing. You have the Steel Wheel logo on this side and the name. Flip it over. You have the name of the knife, the Resident, model number F15, and your blade steel designation of D2. You do not have any jimping up here. For the type of knife and what you'll be using this for, I don't think it's really necessary. Your opening method is a thumb disc, as you can see right there. It has jimping on each side. Baby, don't hit the thing. Has jimping on each side that helps you get purchase to open the knife. Really easy like that. Let's get this guy closed. As you can see, you have this nicely done full carbon fiber show side scale. It's got a satin finish on it, which I much rather than the polished finish because it starts to look cheap depending on, you know, the type of carbon fiber they use. And it is carbon fiber through and through. You can see the weave. You have standard Torx. You have standard Torx drivers on the entire knife. Your pivot's a T8 and you have T6 back here. If I had to rate these from an A to an F, I'd say these are about a C plus, maybe B minus for how tight they are. Flip it over this way. You got some nice attractive blue hourglass standoffs. I like that pop of color, especially with the carbon fiber. I think that blue looks nice. Something I don't understand too much, you have these two, I guess these are lanyard pins, but why you need two of them, I don't know. Maybe somebody understands that. You could let me know. Flip it over right here. You have a titanium frame lock. Don't shake the tail, baby. Titanium frame lock with this dark blasted finish on it, and it will show signs of snail trails. Some people hate that, but I think it gives the knife character. You know, all my blades are users. As you can see, you have a nice deep carry fold over pocket clip right here. They didn't recess the screws. It's not terrible, but it will catch on certain materials. Let's see what it looks like in my simulated pocket. Got your flat pocket right here. And you got enough ramp right there. Goes in there, pretty much the entire knife disappears. You just have that little bitty hump. And let's see what it looks like in your slanted pockets. Goes in very easily and just about the same amount showing. So Very, very nice. Disappears in the pocket. Let's see. The action on this guy is pretty nice and smooth. It's not a drop shut knife, but it is smooth in the deployment. You can middle finger flick it. You can flick it with your thumb, and you can also slow roll it. One of the main reasons why it's not a drop shut knife is because it's got that phosphor bronze washer on one side with a Teflon washer on the other side. So it's still smooth. Usually with those Teflon washers though, it drags a little bit and you don't have that drop shut action, which I'm okay with as long as it's actually smooth. In the ergonomics department, in your saber grip, it is really comfortable. In your hammer grip, nice and comfortable. I don't really feel any hot spots in my medium-sized hand. This grip, it's pretty good. Your reverse grip is okay, but this portion where my thumb feels, it's not super comfortable. It's not super uncomfortable. And this grip, it's okay. It's a longer blade, but you do have a spot to put your finger right there, and you can use it in your scrape grips as well. Let's see. Blade to handle ratio is okay. You could go without this whole area back here, this tube, but that would take away from the design. I'm fine with that. So let's get some quick size comparisons out of the way, and then I'll talk about some things that I would have liked to see different. These next knives are pretty much showing that I think this is a good value for what you're getting with your D2 carbon fiber and your titanium. This is a discontinued model, but I think it went for like $200 brand new, and that is the Gail Bradley Alias 1. So those two are very similar in size, kind of hitting that same, aesthetics in my eyes. The next one is another one that, is kind of doing a lot of the same things, and that is the Boker Excalibur 1. This guy comes in at $135. You have S35VN and the same materials here, but you're getting a lot less of it here. As you can see, look how thin everything is on the Excalibur. So there you go. And even though I do like this guy, it is a cardboard destroyer. It slices like a champ. It is extremely thin behind the edge, and you definitely have to be careful with what you're cutting. So there you go. That's another option. This one is another, I think, discontinued H&K model. They just have a lot of resemblance. It's H&K Nitrous Blitz, I think it is. The blade shapes are somewhat similar. It's also lightweight. It's got titanium liners. I think this guy came in at $120. So, and this is 154 cm, so it's pretty comparable into what you're getting. Here's a new company that I really haven't dealt with before, and that is the Bastion Knives. I'm not sure the name of this one. I got it in for a review, but it's got a lot of the same stuff. You got pretty much everything as far as materials go. You have the D2 blade, you have a carbon fiber, which this is nicely done the way they did it here, and you also have a titanium frame lock on this side. I will be reviewing this one here soon, but this guy comes in at $155. And like I said, this one's $85, so, that's a pretty big difference. This next one I'm about to show is a prototype from Three Rivers Manufacturing. I was able to score that blade, and it's been one of my favorites I've been carrying, my beater right here. Can't remember the name. It's either a Neptune or the Neutron. I don't know. I think it's Neptune. It could be wrong. Y'all correct me down below. But this one, it's got carbon fiber scales on both sides. You got titanium liners. You have 20 CV blade steel, which I love. And it's a great slicer. It's a little bit smaller. But this guy is coming in at $155, so it definitely warrants a price tag on this one. If you're looking for a budget option, even more budget than this guy, You have the Reich P865-B, kind of in that same role as a, EDC office carry style knife. And one more, just because I have it right here, a little bit cheaper, is the CRKT Crossbones. I mean, this guy comes in at 60 bucks, and you got OS 8 and aluminum here. So for what you're getting, like I said, I think it's a pretty definite, they did a good job on the pricing. I definitely think it's worth it. So let's talk about a few quick nitpicks. And there's really nothing functionally hurting this knife. Like I said, just a few minor gripes. And some of them may only pertain to me and, how I carry, or things that are wrong with me. And the first one being that I got, really beat up sensitive hands from my accident. This jimping on here can be a little rough. I heard somebody else talk about it. Now, I only really noticed it after, flipping it for a long time, and really only when I catch it in a certain way. As long as my fingers planted in there and go, I don't feel it. But it's like when I catch it at the top right there, it feels a little sharp. But Brian didn't. I don't think he mentioned anything like that in his review. So maybe it's just my hands. I don't know. Another thing, being that you have this non-texture carbon fiber, it's really slick, and then this blasted finish is nice and slick. It's kind of slick in the hand, but you do have this deep choil right here that allows you to lock in. So I don't, unless you work in somewhere in an environment where your hands are slick, I don't think it'll be an issue. Just something I thought I would touch on. Also, I don't love, kind of like Best Tech was doing, I don't love seeing the name written on the knife. Just put it on the box for me. I don't need it. Like, see, look, it's on their little card. It's something I like. They do these little birth cards on here. I think this is a really nice touch. My dog might freak out in a little while. My daughter's going to try to keep him from freaking out. Let's see. And I said before, I don't really understand those two pins right there for lanyard pins. I don't know why. Maybe that keeps it from rotating. Not too sure. And another thing, just like Best Tech was doing, I think they could go with just a logo. They don't have to have the steel wheel there. That's just, at least the font looks good, but I think that right there would have been just fine placed like over here. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And my last final complaint, and it's something I always talk about if it's not done right, and the execution of the sharpening choil definitely could have been better. Let me see if I can point it. If you see right here in that line coming down right there, that's your plunge line right there. So they should have brought this sharpening choil all the way to right there. They could have extended it and made a forward finger choil, and that would have been great. It would have been really nice to be able to choke up on this blade. Look at that. See, that would have been perfect right where that line comes out. It would have been a great forward finger choil. But as it stands, even, being that they didn't go all the way to the back, you're still going to be able to sharpen it just fine. It's just going to have some flaring when you get back here because it's thicker back there. But like I said, nothing hurting functionally. So my overall thoughts on this knife, absolute win. Steel Wheel has been doing a great job. I noticed at Blade Show, if you were a fan of the Modus and you didn't like the FRN models and you couldn't afford the M390 models, they're now meeting in the middle, and they're putting out the Modus and the cut jack with kind of like this configuration somewhat. You have a D2 blade, titanium frame lock, and G10, and I think they also have one in carbon fiber at a better price point. So I think that's awesome. I love how they're trying to hit each part of the market and satisfy all the different types of collectors, users. That's just cool to see. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. Let me know what you think of the Steel Wheel Resident. If you own one, let me know how it's been treating you. And if you like my videos in general, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and a like and share to all your family and friends in your social network. And if you are subscribed, make sure you hit that little bell button. It'll notify you anytime I have a video or giveaway or anything like that. I'm creeping up slowly on 2,000 subscribers. And once I do hit that mark, I plan on trying to do a really cool giveaway. Something that I don't think y'all want to miss. Might have some custom modified stuff in there. Maybe some scales. You never know. So, hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.